All right. We are live. We're here. We're not talking about basketball. We're not talking about the Spurs. We're not talking about the Celtics or some random college league that Austin's enjoying watching nowadays, which is, we'll get into that here pretty soon. But right now, we are going to talk about something a little outside of our realm, and that is Survivor Series 2025. Austin, thank you so much for hopping on. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Glad to be back on the Baseline Bumps channel. I feel like at this point I am an honorary bum, and I wear
Oh,
that
for sure.
moniker with pride.
Yeah, no, we'll make sure that you get a jacket or something in order to show that you're a true bum. So, dude, I'm so excited to have you on. It's been a minute, but one thing that we try to do on this channel is at least cover the big four when it comes to WWE. We're not going to cover AEW, so sorry, Marks, ain't going to happen. You can find another outlet for that. I barely have time for this. I definitely don't have time for 40 matches in 6 hours. I just don't. And everyone's going to bleed during that time too. So I don't have time. But that's a different story. I guess right off the bat, let me ask you, Austin, what do you think about Survivor Series kind of as a whole, and then we'll get into each match individually.
So this pay-per-view PLE clocked in at 3 hours and 15 minutes. And there were only 4 matches on the card. And in the complete opposite way that AEW has too many matches, 4 is not enough, even if there are 2 WarGames matches.
Right.
So 4 hours through 3.5 minutes. There's probably like an hour's worth of just entrances, splintered all through here. I would have to say, if I were to boil this down to one word from me, it was bored.
Yeah, I disagree with you at all. Mine is sleep. That's because honestly, man, like it's crazy because you have 2 war game matches. So you have 10 athletes in each one, women and men. And you would think that this would be great. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm so excited. War games is typically a good time. Having 2 in one night is way too much. I need them to go back to the old school, just, 5-on-5 Survivor Series style, where you get pinned, you're out, and the last person standing wins the match. We got to go back to that. To your point, it took way too long. And then, and it's not only that, it's, the match doesn't start until everyone's in the thing. So you're sitting there going, okay, cool. We got 3 minutes of this match, and then we got another 3 minutes of this match, and another 3 minutes of that match. And it's like you're sitting there going, it hasn't even started yet, and we're still like 4 people in. Like it's pretty crazy. But I would 1000% have to agree with you, dude. It was so boring.
For anyone who is stumbling across this video and doesn't know the particular rules of the WarGames match, you cannot win the match. You can't get a pinfall victory or a submission victory until all 5 competitors from each team has entered the construction area, for lack of a better term. So leading up to all of the entries and the entrances and stuff, you have 22 minutes of a match. And in both cases, in the women's WarGames match and the men's for this year, there was 22 minutes of filler, and then both of them lasted 5 to 7 minutes after the official bell rang.
Yeah.
So you could have just had this match in 7 minutes, and we could have saved a whole bunch of time.
Or you could just do away with, I think WarGames is something that you bring out very few and far between. WarGames is something that you bring out because these 2 factions just absolutely hate each other. And the only way we can really get through this whole thing is if we just lock them in a cage and have 2 rings and all that. Like the first thing I think of is when Undisputed Era was doing WarGames in NXT. Like those were legit WarGames and awesome matches. Awesome. Top to bottom. Great matches. They also had them in cages too. So, and it was more random. It was like, ooh, who's coming out next? I think another time they had WarGames was when was it Roman Reigns was about to go out or push someone aside, but then CM Punk walked out last year. Like that was a cool moment. And we didn't get any of those moments this year, and it's kind of like, come on, like I want you to do better. Like, why is Vince McMahon still around? Like, that's how I felt the entire time.
I feel like there is give and take on both aspects of it, because when you were in the cage, there were the start of the match, there was just 25 minutes of entrances to get all of the other 8 people in the cage. So that was pretty annoying. But there is that added element that you were talking about that we were lacking in this year's version of it. I think I'm actually more radical than you are on this whole idea, because the gremlin in my brain is like, wow, how cool was it to be 7 years old and watching Monday Night Raw? That was pretty sick. How about we go back to that with the 5-on-5 Survivor Series? Those sucked too. Not some of the matches were fine, but there weren't any stakes. It just became at that point of the year, I was like, oh well, guess we have to throw 5 SmackDown guys and 5 Raw guys, and let's see who wins.
Right.
That Survivor Series, the War Games match, Hell in a Cell, Fatal 4-Way, Extreme Rules, like all these other gimmicky pay-per-views over the last 20 years have been treated as a time of the year rather than an end result, like what you were talking about. When we think of Hell in a Cell, the first, like the best one, right, is probably Mick Foley, Mankind, and The Undertaker throwing him off the top of the cell. That didn't happen because it was November. That was happening because that feud got to such a hot boiling point that there was no other way to end that feud. And now it's November and we have to do a War Games match. It's just really tiring.
It sure is. And you know, going back to it, it's like, just go back to the original Survivor Series. Like, it's fine. It was great. Everyone got to do their entrance. The match 15, 20 minutes long, depending on how long you wanted to do it. Everyone got their finisher in. Everyone got their shit in. Everyone's happy. All good. Move on. But when you have to sit there and everyone got their entrance, and then we're in a match, and it's like, hold on, I'm gonna do my entrance again. So anyway, we'll get to all this here in a minute. But what we're gonna do is just kind of go through it like we typically do. We'll talk about each match just a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and give it a star rating, and we'll just call it from there. So first match, we have the women's War Games match, which is Team Rhea, that has AJ Lee, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. Great names. Off to a great start. Then they're fighting against Team Asuka, which is Becky Lynch, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Again, great names. You can have great matches with these people. The problem is, it took so long to finally get to that point that whenever Io Sky got to her high spot, which was when she put the trash can over her, or she climbed to the top, and then AJ Lee like got on Rhea Ripley's shoulders and handed her the trash can, and then she like got set and jumped off. That was a great moment, but it took so long for us to get there. The match itself was 41 minutes long. Like, you're taking a full hour to get to the point of basically Alexa Bliss hits Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair hits Becky Lynch, Io Sky hits Becky Lynch, Rhea hits her too, and then AJ Lee gets her into the Black Widow for the win. Like, it took that long to do that. Like, cool, I guess. What'd you think about it?
It was fine. I have more of an issue with the way that the Women's War Games match has been portrayed over the last couple of years, mostly because the booking has been very boring. It's either 4 or 5 years. I don't remember if this was the 5th year or the 4th year that this has been implemented. Mm-hmm. All of the years, every single year, the team that had the faces on it won. Incredibly boring. It seems like the only reason that this match even happens is because you want to see Io Sky do something like she did in this match, which, hey, I love Io Sky. I, honest to God, think that she's like a top 5, top 3 wrestler in the world. She's a
phenomenal worker. Great worker.
Incredible. I could see her do that in a different match. I don't need the War Games match. To your point, we get that cool moment with her. We get the Black Widow. We go home. We could have just saved 20 minutes off this match, honestly. And I hate that that's what the women's war game match has been boiled down to, but I don't have the Booker's pin. That's not my fault. I'm just viewing it. I'm just I'm just commenting on what I'm seeing.
Exactly. Yeah. And what was it? Kyrie Sane had a metal chain. It's like, dude, we all knew it was plastic. Like, you don't have to lie to us. It's okay. Like, just it's a little silly, honestly.
There are people who watch it still that have this glimmer. There's this Santa Claus Easter Bunny effect to it, that everything's real.
Oh, yeah.
For us, we've been behind the curtain for a little bit too long. So they weren't necessarily lying to us. They were lying to someone who maybe still have that whimsy in their eye. But yeah, you don't have to elaborate on what it is. We can see with our eyes that this is supposed to be a menacing weapon. You don't have to explain it to us like we're 7 on commentary.
Yeah, and then also, like, I didn't know we're selling EO Sky merch for weapons. Like, that was another thing I was kind of thrown off by, and I was like, why is her name on like the top of a trash can or metal thing, and then her name was on something else, like a trash can too. It's like, all right, man, whatever, do your thing. I guess that's how we're gonna brand you. Everything has to have a label on it. Thanks, Slim Jim tables. And then one thing I noticed too was the ring looked like a freaking NASCAR car. That thing was covered in logos from top to bottom, and the turnbuckles too. Like,
capitalism never stops.
TKO. There's other ways you please your advertisers. Like, there's other ways. I don't need a big old Riyadh season logo in the middle of my ring. I just don't. I'm
not as big of a fan as I was back in the day, but I grew up being a mixed martial arts fan, so I'm pretty used to seeing advertisements on the canvas. So when it started trickling in, where it was the Prime logo, it didn't necessarily bother me. I thought, okay, if you can have one big logo as like the sure, presenting sponsor of whatever PLE it is, I'm cool. I don't need 15 of them. Like, I don't need to be bombarded. It's the same thing with NBA games. When you look at the scores table or anything, I'm bombarded every 10 seconds with an ad. Like, and it's really becoming very difficult to try and enjoy the things that I want to enjoy when all I can think about is the consumerism of it.
Oh, 100%. And I overall, like, Alexa looked great. Charlotte did great. Nia Jax had something on. I did not like her outfit at all. I'm surprised that Lash Legend came out last. I thought that was a flop, in my opinion. Just because she's not as menacing as you want her to be yet, because we don't know anything about her yet. Whereas if you say that for Nia Jax, I think that would have been a much different reaction than having Lash Legend in that role. Now, of course, you have to push someone at some point, and maybe this is the way that they do it. But at the end of the day, they still lost. So
I did. Small shout out to Lash Legend. I wasn't aware prior to this, and I've been tapped into NXT even after the Black and Gold era, like the real heyday of it, just so I can be aware of the talent coming up. I did not know that she hooped. Former college basketball player, 4 years, 3 years. I mean, we're a Red Raiders fans around here for this podcast, but she went to Texas A&M for 3 years, and then Missouri State or Mississippi State at the end. Played for a cup of tea in the WNBA, and then transitioned her way over here. So shout out to Lash Legend for that. But to what you were saying, yeah, I think that it could have been flipped around, but I do appreciate that they're trying something. She did look strong even in defeat in her time in the match. So I'm glad they're doing something. I just wish this was presented a little different. I kind of wish that it, specifically for this, it would have been like the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. If she came in at that point and then got like 3 quick eliminations, really put her over strong, but still lost, and you go, oh yeah, Lash Legend, she's a deal.
Why are we not booking this? We should be booking this right now.
Give us the pen, Hunter.
Sometimes things are just easy. It's just easy to do. And one thing that I noticed too is that it's great. I love having AJ Lee back. When she skips to the ring, my heart skips a beat. It's fantastic. But she didn't do anything. She just didn't.
What are you talking about? She handed the trash can to EO Sky. She did something.
She also needed help to get up there. So, and then she got the finish. So, like, cool, but I want to see AJ Lee, like, maybe she's still trying to get her, like, her wrestling legs back in or whatever. Maybe she still has a little bit of ring rust. I don't know, but I feel like if you have a name like AJ Lee, you have to show AJ Lee, or at least some parts of it. And I mean, thank God, I'm glad we got the Black Widow, but but that was kind of all we got. And then also on the flip side of that, Becky Lynch is starting to creep into this Hulk Hogan like kind of style where everything's like whoa, or like oh, like just she's just overacting everything. And you saw it whenever Io Sky jumped off the thing, like she was like, okay, mark and look and face, and like you could tell like that was what she was told. And she just getting to that point where like you have to do all these crazy things to beat her, and she's coming out like she's hot shit. And obviously she's working heel, totally get it. I don't need, I want her to go back to like, was it 2022 Becky or somewhere out like that? Because right now it feels like very Hogan-y, and I'm not a huge fan of it.
Well, I think that kind of speaks to the broader issue of this match, that nothing happened in it. It took 41 minutes of essentially nothing. And then there weren't storylines that furthered in this match either. There are bits and pieces that you can put together that would be something, right? So AJ Lee tapped out Becky Lynch. You can put a little feud between them. I wish it was for a title, but it's not. Other than that, everything else was status quo. The other 8 people in there were just there for fodder.
Yeah, Kairi Sane coming out as a pirate.
She's the pirate of the sky.
I know that, but like, it was just, where did that come from? Like, I haven't seen that gimmick in a minute. So, all right, cool. She's back, I guess. I don't know. And then Rhea Ripley coming out as Terrifier. All right, like trying to be Crow Sting now. Like, what's going on?
I think she was in that last Terrifier movie though, so maybe that was just a little homage to. Yeah, I think 3. I haven't watched any of the Terrifier movies, so I'm a casual.
I watched 3, but I don't remember her being in it.
Maybe she was just promoting it, but I feel like she was in it.
But I mean, Rhea Ripley, 1000% fear boner every single time, though. Like every time, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but you're super hot. So I was excited to see that. But the Terrifier cosplay was a choice. I would just say it's a choice. Anyway, star rating. What do you give this match?
This is going to be pretty similar to the men's match that we'll get to in a minute. This was fine. Perfectly right in the middle. I will give it a 3 because Io Sky is the best wrestler in the world. So that's the best that I can do for it.
Well, I gave this a 2. I'll give it a 2.5. So we'll do 2.75 between us.
If it was anybody else other than Io, it would be a 2.5 for me. But yeah, just give that a little extra juice.
Yep, absolutely. So 2.75. That's what we got so far. Next match. Now, this one actually woke me up a little bit because the first one definitely put me to a little sleepy time. But this match, I thoroughly enjoyed this. So we got John Cena, who is the IC champion going into this, fighting against Dominic Mysterio with the Valley Girls next to him. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, which are both from South Texas. Shout out to both of them. Roxanne Perez and Raquel both wrestled in RCW, and that's the local promotion in San Antonio. So shout out to all those people over there. Great promotion, by the way. Austin, what do you think about it? I'm going to let you go first. What do you think about this match?
So we love John Cena. John Cena has been synonymous with wrestling to me literally my entire life. Mm-hmm. I remember watching it when I was really young, and I was still Attitude Era, but I wasn't old enough to know what was going on. It was just because it was on TV and my grandmother was watching it. It was just more like an event. When I started watching wrestling for real, was only John Cena, only Randy Orton, really like through the mud era of WWE. So wrestling and John Cena are synonymous to me. So even through all the Super Cena stuff, I was still rocking with him. I will not pretend like he is a fantastic wrestler. So because of that, even though he's in the ring with a good wrestler in Dominic Mysterio, all of his matches, especially on this retirement tour, have been more events. They have been more cinematic experiences rather than good wrestling matches. And I think that was a pretty good example of things
That's a
here.
great way to put it.
And spoiler, John Cena lost this match. He dropped the title back to Dominic Mysterio. And that's a pretty good rub, right? He's already talked about before how Dominic Mysterio is the future of the business, and he's doing the business on the way out. Not only that, think about all the run-ins that happened. Raquel and Roxanne Perez got into it. Finn Balor and JD McDonough got their shots in. And then another spoiler, the big return of Liv Morgan. In one single match, he was able to put 6 people over and got to work with 6 people on his way out. Couldn't do any better than that, John.
No, and he, if he wanted to just be like, I'm not dropping this title, I'm not going to lose, no one would bat an eye. It wouldn't matter. But he knows how wrestling is, and the rule of thumb in wrestling, you go out on your back. You go out on your back to continue the storylines and give the people the rub. I thought it was awesome. He sold so much for the women. He sold that Tahana bomb like he was shot out of a cannon. I mean,
it was great pop rocks too,
dude. And the pop rocks sell was even better. And then it's funny, like, talk about a fall from grace, like Finn Balor, the first ever Universal Champion, Finn Balor, who held it for a week and then had surgery, and he's never come close to that ever again. I mean, at some point, Finn Balor's gonna have to look in the mirror and go, "Is it worth it?"
I think his wallet will say that it is, just based on what I've been able to read. First off, shout out to my little brother Dylan. He is the only person on planet Earth that is a bigger Finn Balor fan than I am. Finn Balor is the reason that I love professional wrestling as an adult today, because we all go through ebbs and flows of liking wrestling. But Finn Balor, Demon Finn Balor in NXT, hooked me right back in. I was like, "Yep, here we are." So the fact that he has gone up and down through this whole thing, and you know what's funny? Both of his NXT runs were fantastic. And I thought that after the second one, when he turned heel, that we would get something more substantial than what we've got. And we just haven't, which has been unfortunate. I said it on, shameless plug, my East Coast Pop TikTok. I said it at some point that if this was 4 or 5 years ago, I would have suggested to Finn Balor that he go to AEW to reinvent his career. And he probably could have ended up being their world champ at some point. But now, again, I think his wallet's a little too fat to care if he's being booked as the top guy.
Yeah. Does he? I guess, I mean, at some point you're like, cool, I can, if you want me to do that, I can. But if you're going to pay me just to kind of do these runouts, and I take 1 or 2 bumps a night and I go and just stare at my abs the other time, like, all right, sure.
Buddy has never had a carb in his life.
Yeah, works for me. So, that's fair. But also, like, I think of, I'm pretty sure you and I probably view Finn Balor the same way, as this was the dude, like, King of NXT, Demon Finn Balor came out, and you knew that was an important match if he came out as Demon Finn. And, going back to the Bullet Club too, like, Prince, what's his name?
Prince Devitt.
Thanks, Prince Devitt. Thank you. So I'm just like, this was supposed to be the guy. And especially now that Vince isn't there, you don't have to have a big guy to be your top guy. And it's like, well, I wonder if they're just kind of doing this and kind of seeing it through, so Dominic and Liv can finish their story, and then maybe who moves on from the Judgment Day after this. I don't know, maybe. But at the end of the day, dude, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Mostly just because it was a classic John Cena match. It was a classic John Cena match. And when you advertise John Cena, that's what they want to see. They want to see him come out. And he talked for way too long at the front, though. I get it. It's your last few times. The fact that he looked in the camera and says, like, this is my last PLE. And you're like, we're calling it PLEs? All right, cool. PLE.
The pay-per-view era is officially dead now that John Cena has said so.
Yeah, and quick through the table to the guy that had his face as you walked out. Dude, fuck that guy. I'm sorry. Like... Come on, man. Whoa. I get it. But come on. Like, this is ridiculous. So, I do like John Cena. I do think, he definitely stepped on some people going up to where he needed to be, but also the fact that he was able to take a pin the way he did, tell that story, bring Liv back in a way that you kind of forget, like, oh yeah, like something was going on before then. So, I think here in the next month or so, Liv probably turns on Dom because, she caught him like getting a hand job by Roxanne or something. I don't know, but something to that effect.
I don't think that's PG. I don't know.
Yeah, so live sex celebration in the middle of the ring, and it's like, whoa. But so I think it's a great way to introduce Liv back. Shout out to Liv Morgan. I don't know if you saw this online, but she had on John Cena's gear. Phenomenal. She looked fantastic. So I am excited to see more of Liv. Shout out to Dominic Mysterio. Great win again. But overall, 16 minutes in and out. A lot of stuff happened. They were able to tell a great story, and you walk out with a new IC champion. And now I'm interested in what this storyline is more than anything else. And then also, you're coming off of a Cena loss, going into his last match, and we don't really know who that is. We find out what, Friday?
Yeah, I think so.
LA Knight and Gunther. But there's also some hot rumors out there. Have you heard these rumors?
Yeah, I'm not buying into it. I think Gunther's pretty handedly walking away with that one, but I've seen stranger things happen here.
How loud would the pop be? Let me ask you this. Would Edge's pop be bigger for the main event if he comes out and either helps or beats up Gunther to have that last match with Cena? Would it be bigger for on Saturday or the Royal Rumble when he came back?
Oh, it's never going to top that Royal Rumble pop. I remember watching that live and sitting in my living room going, oh my God, it finally happened. There's nothing that's going to top that return for him.
Dude, that was hell of a pop. So, we'll see what happens with Cena that's coming up on Saturday. But overall, I guess, what would you give this one?
If we're basing it off of what I called earlier, the cinematic experience, that's an easy 5. But because we do have to incorporate the actual wrestling that happened, I'm going to give it a 3.75. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with a 3 because as much as I loved it, it's Survivor Series, so I wanted a little more, I guess. But I mean, I guess no. You know what? Take it back. I will go 3.5 because John Cena AA 2 people in the most classic Cena move of all time. We all saw it coming as soon as Finn went to that turnbuckle. I went, uh-oh, here we go. So you said 3.75, right?
Yep.
You know what? I'll just go with you, 3.75. Cool. We're not going to get many of those moving forward. All right. So after that match, there's a whole lot of ads and nonsense and this and that. And we finally get to Stephanie. How do you say her last name?
Vaquer.
Is it Vaquer? Because I'm pretty sure Nikki Bella said Vaquer. So, or Vaque, whatever. And it's like, all right. And everyone says it differently. So I don't even know anymore. But Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella for the Women's World Championship. Good Lord, I hated this match from top to bottom. Austin, what did you think of this?
This review is brought to you by WWE. What is that card? Supercard. So be sure to go to your local app store and download that. Use code BUMS for 300 extra coins. I don't know. I was also very aggravated with the ad integration that we saw prior to this match. I thought that this match was, again, fine, but I also think that part of the experience of a wrestling fan is a little bit of that mystique, that little bit of the unknown of, oh, well, maybe Nikki coming back and winning a championship is the storyline here. Not one time through this whole build-up, through her heel turn, through this match, through anything, did I think that she was going to win. Stephanie's great. Nikki Bella, this is probably her best match ever. The bar for that was in hell, admittedly.
Yeah.
but this was fine. I just wasn't convinced at any point through this entire lead up that Nikki was ever going to walk away with the strap.
Yeah, and they didn't really do the devil's kiss properly, which I really wanted. I needed Booker. I needed Booker. Oh, oh, yeah. So if you guys haven't seen this, Booker T calling the Devil's Kiss for Stephanie Vaquer, one of the funniest things compilations you'll ever hear in your life, and you're like, how is this on TV? How is this on TV? Because he goes yeah. Like it's so funny. So, dude, I absolutely hated this match. I don't think Nikki's a great worker to begin with, and everything was it just fell flat for me. And this is coming off the heels of a big ending to a big story, and then you put this one in as like a filler and not my cup of tea, man. So I'm not gonna lie, this one I don't really want to talk about this one very much. I give it a 1.
I think mine's a little higher than that. I think because Stephanie was doing so much of the heavy lifting, I think Stephanie's an incredible performer. So I'm going to give it a 2.25. 2.25.
Cool. So that gives us an overall 2.
Great run so far. I'm sure the main event's going to save it.
Yeah, great. Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But I mean, overall, this so I got for me, I got to this point, and I fell asleep in the third match, and I was like, okay, clearly I don't give a shit. So I'm just gonna stop this here. I'll come back to it later. I came back to the match later, and I was like, that I can't. I don't know what to. I need to pause before I get to this last match because I knew it was going to be 40 minutes of my time, and I finally got to, so it took me three goes at this Survivor Series to watch the full thing. Now, granted, I had football and Spurs were on, so I was watching other things, but you know, I, this ESPN thing, if they don't have the full catalog on ESPN, I'm gonna be pissed. Like I need a full catalog still. I need the WWE Network. I need to wake up on a Saturday morning and turn on Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair in a cage match as I drink my coffee. That's what I want to do. So as long as they move it all over, that'll be fine. But
now, I would never advocate for this, obviously, but I know some people who sail the seven seas for their content. So I don't think that I will be able to be a benefactor in and if or when they move everything over to ESPN Ultimate Unlimited, whatever they're calling it, for the WWE network. But that does absolutely need to be there. And if it isn't, you are just missing IP for whatever reason.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, those looking back, I've been following. So one of my podcasts I listen to is What's Wrong with Wrestling. They're going back and doing the Attitude Era, and they're recapping them, and it's right to the point where Stone Cold just like took over a Raw, and it's the week before Pillman's gun thing. That's where they're at in time, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Like Sting just went full crow, dude. It's like Sting, like I think spoke 2 weeks ago, and now he's like gonna go silent. Like this is perfect timing. So that's what I miss. And with ESPN, like I'm glad I'm still able to go on there, but I mean ads. So anyway, enough stalling. Let's talk about this main event. Main event time. We have the vision of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and the Usos. All right. Okay. Again, Survivor Series, right? I enjoyed Punk opening the match. I thought Punk Breaker let's put that on in at the Rumble for the title. Let's put that on at Mania for the title. I want to see that match just by themselves. I don't care if it's no DQ or what it is. I don't care. I want to see that match. And I think we got a good little preview here on Saturday. What do you think about that opening sequence between them two?
WWE doesn't predict the future very well, but they do a great job at planting seeds that they could tap into later. And we'll talk about the finish of the match when we get there. But I'm much in that camp with you. If Braun Breaker isn't a world champion by this time, 6 months, 6 months from now, I don't know what we're doing.
Right.
We've lost the plot.
Yeah, dude. He just looks like $1,000,000. He comes out, says badass, but I still don't understand how Rick Steiner is his father, but he goes by Breaker.
He said in an interview, I think, that had been pitched for him to be Braun Steiner, but he wanted to blaze his own trail. And part of me respects that. But if you're going to do that, I feel, and I don't think that all of this was his decision, obviously, but if you're going to blaze your own trail, maybe not do the Steiner math promo 6 times so far. Like,
yeah. And then also you're barking like Steiners, and the commentary is like the son of Rick Steiner and the nephew of Scott Steiner. And you're like, yeah. So, either you do it or you don't. And I mean, they're not going to change it anytime soon. I'm just glad he only has 2 Ks in his name. 3 would be a problem. So,
well, it's kind of like, and this is a different scale, obviously, but for the longest time, I didn't know that Hook was Taz's son in AEW because they didn't mention it on. No, they didn't mention it on commentary. It was only until
they definitely did.
It wasn't until he won the FTW championship that I think like Tony Schiavone was like, "Wow, Taz, how does it make you feel as a father?" I'm like, "Oh, okay."
For whatever reason, I knew that. I maybe it's a bigger mark than you are. We're just saying something.
now it's peppered in more, but I feel like that first time he won the FTW title, they just kind of like poured it on thick after that.
Yeah, just like Taz's accent. Hey, Taz, you're guy. Look. So anyway, we're not here to talk about AEW. So next up is McIntyre comes in. Obviously, that him and Punk have a big feud still. They absolutely hate each other. What did Punk blade, or was that an actual like gash from the cage?
No, I think
right.
Yeah, I think it was just capsule. I don't.
Oh, you think it was capsule?
Yeah. The refs have gotten a lot better over the last couple of years of being able to just like flick that over to whoever needs, because it's a real tall tale sign now for me, and I hate myself for this just because I've watched so much wrestling. If there's ever a quick like pan over with a camera shot, I know that it's happening, and I know that when I see this back, it's just a sea of red, and that's
you're not going to get any more Hogan's like
Devon Dudley just straight down the middle. No, we're
no, but I honestly, like, whenever I was a kid, it's pretty wild. I wasn't obsessed with like bleeding wrestling wise, but I was more interested on like how they did it. Like, so I would like sit in the mirror and be like, if I did it like here, could you tell? And like I would just kind of be like, oh man, they like just right there, and like, oh man, that's impressive. Like, just I would just kind of like think that way. I was a dumb kid when I was young, still dumb, but anyway, so after Drew comes in, Cody comes in, even out the whole thing. Just Cody, I think he scaled. When he was scaling the cage, did you notice something?
Not immediately, no.
So when he was climbing the cage, I noticed on his back, like mid back or so, there's a knot like this big, and I don't know if it's a knot or if it's something else, or what's going on back there, but it's a little concerning because you don't see that very often, and when you do, I get reminded of CM Punk talking about when it was like 10 years ago, and he was like, hey, I got this thing on my back, kept going, and it come to find out, what was it, like staph or something like that? So I hope it's okay. I hope they have it controlled. and I hope he's not doing more than what he needs to do, because I don't want him to go and miss WrestleMania again. Like, let's not do that. He needs to be there. He's what they were top baby face. Whatever he needs to take care of, take care of. He wears suits anyway, so the only time we see it is on pay-per-views. Sorry, PLEs. um so then next was Logan Paul. I mean, Cody did some stuff. I don't know. A heart attack, I think. Him and Punk. Cool. Maybe we see a CM Punk Rhodes tag team down the road. Who are the tag team champs anyway right now?
Great question. Let's.
Damn. Exactly.
I know that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are a pair.
Yep.
I know that's still going on. I want to say it's the Wyatt Six, but maybe they lost it.
It's sad that we don't know.
Yep, Wyatt Six are the other ones.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like, you just had Survivor Series and we don't know who your champions are.
The tag team titles always kind of get the back burner too, because what was it? SummerSlam this year, their like 6-pack challenge got pushed to SmackDown for whatever reason. So it's the tag teams never get enough love. And part of that is us not remembering who the tag team champions are. But in fairness, if we saw them on TV more,
yeah,
maybe we would remember.
Oh, absolutely. 100%, dude. So anyway, Logan Paul comes in and gets booed out of the building. Hilarious. But damn, that dude's a good worker. He's so good. He comes in with chairs. He's what's it called? By the cage, and Paul Heyman slips him the brass knuckles. I mean, like, you may hate him. He is a douchebag 1000%, but whenever he's on a paper PLE, I want to watch. I really do.
There's a lot that you could say about Logan as a person and even as a wrestler to some extent, but he is a top 3 athlete in the entire company, and he understands at least the heel portion of the business. And you can't teach a lot of that. That's something that you have to have lived in experience with, or you're born with in some cases. So I'll never knock him for that.
And he's such a natural too. And one thing I noticed was, I think he like did this power bomb to like a flapjack to, I think it was like CM Punk or Cody Rhodes, one of the two. I can't remember which one, but he like found hard cam and did the move. And I'm like, those things are just, you can teach them, but people miss their spot all the time. And for him to have the awareness to go, oh, here we go. Like, set him up, turn, pose, do the thing, make that fall, and a taunt at the end of it. It was great. Then Jimmy came out, and I was like, you're still here? Your brother's so much cooler. And he did his thing, brought in a table, and then what's it called? Reed came in. I mean, what do you think about Bronson Reed?
I really liked him as Jonah on the Indies and his time in TNA. Him as Bronson Reed, even though he has had moments where, he gave a tsunami to Seth Rollins like 7 times, really put him over strong. There have been times that he's great. I just don't think they'll ever get the backing from the booking team to be anything other than what he is right now, which is a shame because I think that he's good. But I mean, we're not going to sit here in 5 years and look at Bronson Reed as a 2-time world champ.
Right. I don't think he was big enough for this match. I think you could have found a better name for this match. And I get he's part of the Vision and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I get that. But I think you could have found a bigger name to make it more meaningful, more powerful, a bigger match altogether, just because I just didn't think it was. And maybe that was a Seth Rollins part and he got it fill in when Seth got hurt. That very well could be it. But I do think that I don't see it. Not yet. And I'm sure it's there. He's in the WWE. He's the main event in Survivor Series. But me personally, like maybe it's because he was around guys that are been in this business for 25 years. So maybe that's it too. I don't know. But for some reason, I'm not a huge fan of Bronson Reed. He came in, everyone got a tsunami, cool, and then Jay Uso comes out, and he yeeted all over the entire ballpark. Um, Came in, got his shit in, and everyone's down. And instead of getting ready for Brock Lesnar, what does this dumbass do? Austin, what does he do? He climbs to the top of the cage. He's like, hold on, dude, and proceeds to yeet. And God bless Wade Barrett. And he was like, Michael, what's he doing? And Michael's like, this is how he gets into the match. And Wade Barrett's like, it's stupid.
This is going to be pretty long-winded, so I apologize in advance.
No, go ahead.
There has to be wrestling has to be grounded in logic, even a little bit.
Yeah,
Because I'm not going to stay here and pretend like it has to be all the time. I remember watching the Boogeyman and thinking that he was this extraterrestrial being. I remember thinking that the Undertaker actually had magical powers. I don't need that. I need consistency, though. So when you are in a War Games match, this is supposed to be like a blood feud. This like you're supposed to hate these guys, right? It's not just it's not just that Jay came in and started yeeting it all over the place. CM Punk got into it. Cody Rhodes was dancing. Like everyone on that team forgot that they were in a match and just started to yeet and have fun with the crowd. And I understand that part of that is the experience, right? You want to make the crowd happy. And to some extent, on some level, Jay's character is that. But to do all of that and not be socially aware that anything else is happening, insane. Not only that, every other entrant in the match, their countdown to the next person coming in didn't start until they got it, like they stepped foot on the canvas or walked through the cage. Jay never did that.
Yeah,
it didn't happen.
There has to be continuity, guys. Like just like the Rumble, you're like, it's not always 90 seconds, and it's okay, but just get somewhat close to that, or 60 seconds, whatever it is.
He spent all 3 of his minutes yeeting just for the rut-row turn toward the worst moment ever in wrestling. Probably maybe not ever, but definitely this year for sure.
The home improvement. Yeah, dude, it was like cool. The fans got to yeet, and then Brock Lesnar comes out. And I'm surprised people weren't chanting "no means no," but that's neither here nor there. And he comes out and proceeds to do Brock Lesnar shit. And it's like, hey, maybe instead of yeeting, you were, I don't know, barricading the door or getting a weapon or setting up a table, something to that effect, because this beast incarnate is coming in to kick your ass. So yeah, it was a little ridiculous. Brock Lesnar does Brock Lesnar things. Roman Reigns comes out, and you're like, ooh. And, you know, I just, this next part just, you know, everyone's in there. The faces get an advantage. And then all of a sudden, a masked man comes out of the crowd and climbs the cage and hits a super kick and then a curb stomp and then storms out of there. And Breaker gives CM Punk a spear, and 1, 2, 3, bad guys win. Austin, did you know who was in the black mask whenever you came in?
I knew that it wasn't Seth Rollins based on how he exited the cage. Seth had surgery on his shoulder, and he and he felt like he was doing a hang from the cage like this, and you're not doing that on a brand new shoulder. No. So no. I knew it wasn't Seth Rollins, but I didn't know that it was, spoiler alert, Austin Theory until SRS came out and said it on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fine. They, because of the injuries, because of the booking decisions that they've made in the last 3 months, like there's nothing else that they could have done.
But man, having Austin Theory be that guy, by the way, just more and more and more and more reiterates Vince is pulling the strings somewhere. somewhere Vince has a bat phone to Bruce or somebody back there, because Austin Theory is the mask man, and he's probably gonna have some big explanation coming up. It's probably gonna be some big story, whatever, whatever. But I'd be cool if they swerved us and they gave us like, Americano or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. But all in all, I guess it did set up some storylines here in the future. During that time, Cody Rhodes gave CM Punk an elbow, so that's a nice little teaser later on. Could be a match that they have, maybe a title for title. Cody Rhodes is the champion, right? No,
Cody is a champ. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. CM Punk's champion too, right?
He is champ as well. Yep.
Cool. Just want to make sure, because right now I'm thinking about just yeeting all over the place.
Those two I did know because they're on TV.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited for that to happen. Obviously, Roman Reigns fist bumping people. It's like, you're cool, you're not. We'll see kind of where that goes. But do you think we see Roman Reigns in the month of December?
No, I feel like the next time that we see him is probably first show of the year in the lead up to Royal Rumble. I mean, the only thing going on in December for the WWE is Saturday night's main event where John Cena retires, and there's no reason for him to be on that show. So
just to come out in gear and clap and go, yeah,
suffer and succotash, like give us one for the road.
Oh man. Oh, I hope when Roman Reigns gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, he says that. I hope he gives the full explanation of that promo, because dude, that was peak Roman Reigns sucks. Peak Roman Reigns sucks. And then he became a badass and everyone's happy. Amazing what a couple of things you can do. And also, how many of Rock's cousins do we have in this match? Good Lord. Just call it Survivor Series Rocky edition. So anyway, bad guys got the victory. Super cool, I guess. It is what it is. We'll see what happens moving forward. I don't know if we see Logan Paul again too. We might, maybe once, but I doubt it. And then it was nice to see the Usos together for a little bit, but I don't want to see them together anymore. Like, that was enough. So overall, 40 minutes long again. What do you think you give this match?
I have a bit of a preamble before I give the rating.
Go ahead.
I have to touch on this because it's the elephant in the room. Taking out my woke, liberal, social justice warrior ass opinions out of it, there is no reason for Brock Lesnar to be in this match. He has some real life things going on that he should not be in the public eye for at all. If you remove that entirely, if you pretend like that doesn't happen, he's 48 years old.
Yeah, man. You gotta move.
He's a 10-time WWE champion. There is nothing else that he could possibly accomplish in this match or in this industry at all. There's no reason for him to be here. So that's my soapbox for him. They were talking about this match in particular being the All-Star Game equivalent to a WWE match. And they're right. There's 27 world championships in this match. When it's Brock, it's CM Punk, it's Cody Rhodes, it's Jay, it's Roman Reigns, it's Drew McIntyre. 27 world championships. And you know what? It sucked like the NBA All-Star Game too. It was bad because nothing happened. Like, there were moments in the match, but all of the stuff that you're talking about, like potentially being storylines down the line, other than the elbow that happened with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, it all happened after the bell.
Yeah.
Or prior to, because Braun Breaker picked up the win against CM Punk. That's what it's looking like for the Royal Rumble, if I had to guess, or Mania if you want to push it that far out. And then it looks like we're going to get Roman and Cody Rhodes again, even though we've already finished that story. Like, this match sucked. Full stop.
Yeah.
2 for me for my official score, but there's every single thing that happened here could have happened on Raw. Or through a Twitter clip or a tweet or literally anything else. I didn't need another 40-minute match to tell the stories that they told in this match.
Yeah. And again, If it's a regular Survivor Series, probably a lot more entertaining, tell a little bit more story. But it's, I don't know. I've gotten to the point in my life, I think, Austin, is where I don't need to see carnage all the time. But I do enjoy a good carnage every once in a while. But I also have like other ways to find that itch. For this, it's like, dude, just give me a quality match that you can. I know you guys have the ability to do it. I saw Triple H do it with NXT. Why haven't we gotten it in this run right now? I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of it has to do with TKO and his, the public powers that be and the board or whatever. Sure, but maybe put him in a storyline. Just hire 10 actors to be the board and make it a bit. Like at some point, like we got to get more eyeballs. Like if you want to get more eyeballs, it seems like they're doing everything they can in order to get there. Make it fun. Like shit, put Stephen A. Smith as the president of the board. Like put him around like just a bunch of other dudes and make it a sort of like reasons to some of these stupid matches that we're trying to figure out why are they doing this. So, I think it's okay to retell stories in a different way. And I think the corporation would be a really good way to retell a story, especially if like it's Triple H against said authority figure. And I mean, that's what made him great in the first place. You have the talent to do it. Just sometimes you overthink it.
Yeah, and that seems to be the cancer that has been within this company over the last couple of years, that the storytelling could be too long, that you're overthinking it so much. Because back, and again, shameless plug, talked about this on one of my TikToks for East Coast Pop. I had recently said that the reason that the Attitude Era was so good is because they were forced to put the strap on younger talent. All of all the talent in the WWE shifted over to WCW when they were handed all those contracts. So Luger and Brett and oops, sorry, Despot, like all these guys moved over to WCW, and there was no older talent. There was no reliable talent that you could have put the strap on. That's how we got Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H and all these guys as world champ, and it was an exciting time.
Yeah.
I would have made I would have made Braun Breaker a champion 18 months ago. Sure. I would have had Dominic Mysterio be the champ a year ago. And the fact that we're slow rolling these titles on them, it's going to be 2029 until I see a world championship reign with Dominic Mysterio, is exhausting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what we talked about earlier with Finn Balor, like he's north of 40 now, man. He's north of 40.
And doesn't look a day over 25 to me.
Yeah, and
beautiful
same thing
man.
with LA Knight. Like you have to strike when the iron's hot. Like, as much as we probably don't want to see championships jump around as much as they did during that time, I don't mind it because it gives us a reason to watch. Like the reason we watch is because the title could change at any point in time, or just get a title that you can change all the time, but don't give it to the under cards. Don't put it on Twitter. Just bring back the European title. Like make it more fun. And you can do that when booked properly, but the problem is you're not being booked properly. That's why we're going to submit our resumes to the writers of WWE on LinkedIn, and we're going to send them this podcast, and they're going to take all of our ideas, and they're not going to do them right. So they didn't suck. They sucked when they got them.
I've got a lot of relevant experience too. I've been booking cards since SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Like I've got 20 years in this shit.
All right. So you gave it a 2?
Yep. Main event got a 2 because of, I will admit that a lot of it was external reasons, but even at that point, if I took that away from this match still sucked.
It wasn't great. Overall, I was just very disappointed with it was 3 hours of bleh. Just bleh.
I could have done anything else with my time. I could have been watching a basketball game. I could have been sleeping. Like, if I missed this entire pay-per-view, I would not have missed anything except maybe the John Cena match.
Right. All right. So our grand total is a 2.5 star. That's the rating.
Yep. That checks out.
So there you go, guys. 2.5 stars. That's what the bums here on the Survivor Series recap. That's our ranking. If you agree, cool. If not, tell us why. Maybe we didn't see each other on that one, but I would love to know more on what maybe we missed. So we have Cena coming up on Saturday. You think it's Gunther? I think it's going to be probably. I think man, I feel like Edge needs to be there. I feel like we've like it's the hot rumor. It's possible, but at the same time, like Tony Khan's not that cool. So I would probably say not going to happen.
You mean a guy that can recite what happened at Madison Square Garden on November 2nd in 1972 isn't cool? Yeah, right, pal.
Well, I don't know about you, but Tony and I get our cocaine from the same guy. Thanks, guys. he is wild, man. Maybe one day we'll cover AEW, but not for a very long time. Do you think Britt Baker comes to WWE at some point, or is she just going to be a dentist?
I don't know if she'll ever just continue to be a dentist. I feel like she does have the passion for the wrestling industry. So I until small shout out to TNA. They got a TV deal today. They're starting January 15th. They are going to be on AMC. So shout out to them.
They're going to be on AMC. That's dope. I can watch Breaking Bad afterwards.
Yeah. Shout out to them. So until another big game comes in town, until Mark Cuban, another billionaire, wants to start a wrestling promotion, they're only gonna be able to hot potato back and forth. So she probably is going to end up there eventually because it seems like sour grapes in AEW right now for her. But I don't. I like Britt. I think she's good, but I don't see any huge career for her in the WWE. And maybe it's an Andrade situation where she just keeps going back and forth.
Oh my God. She's going to show up and be like, oh, I can't be here. See you in 3 months. Oh, that was so funny. I would love to see her. I think it would really benefit the WWE women's division. As much as like these girls are great workers and stuff, over time they just get stale, and it's no fault of anything. When you watch someone for, let's call it 8 years in a row, every Monday, every Friday, weekends and things like that, over time it just gets stale. It just really does. And sometimes you have to miss some people. I will say this, being a married man, I love my wife, but sometimes whenever she's gone, like you want to feel that still. It's great to have her around all the time, but you still want to miss your significant other. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of these wrestlers. Like, I've seen these dudes wrestle in and night out for so long that new blood just needs to come in to just shake things up. And I'm not talking just NXT call-ups. I'm talking like just sign someone and bring them over and just see what happens. Like, look at AJ Styles, but also like look at Shinsuke Nakamura, but he also went the NXT route. So, overall, WWE can do better. I hope they do. But Austin, do you have anyone you want to put through a table?
Oh boy, do I have something I want to put through the table. So again, long-winded. Again, sorry for it. Also not really sorry for it. I was going to have this be, I was hoping to have this as like a complete topic that we had for those who may be unaware. All of the baseline bums, Rob, AJ, James, they are all Texas Tech Raiders fans, Red Raiders fans. Apologies. I am a West Virginia University fan. And for those who don't know, they both are in the Big 12. So we were inevitably going to play each other. I didn't have any bewilderments about this game. Texas Tech is on an incredible run right now, ranked number 5, I believe, in the nation. Obviously a favorite going into the college football playoff. West Virginia is not that. So I knew how this game was going to go. I didn't expect it to be the worst home loss since 1891, but I knew we weren't going to win the game. And in the macro, I'm upset at the NCAA and the way that they have decided to organize the conferences. In the micro, I want to put our athletic director through the table. Again, shameless plug on my Roundball Renaissance channel. I have made a video essentially saying this. West Virginia is not a Power 5 or Power 4, depending on how you look at it, school. And they haven't been for quite some time. because it used to be that conferences were aligned geographically. They are now defined monetarily or by GDP.
Mm-hmm.
Take Texas, for example. If they were their own independent nation, they would be 13th in the world for GDP. Ton of money pumped through Texas. Because of that, I think there's more of an argument for Texas State or UTEP to be a Power 5 school over West Virginia because of a ton of economic factors. Furthermore, if we didn't have the Pat White era of West Virginia football, if we didn't have the 4 years of Geno Smith, and if we didn't have the couple years of Will Grier, this would be a nothing school. It would be zilch. And God, I made a video talking about how I think that the signing of Rich Rodriguez back to West Virginia was a huge mistake because it's not very inspired. If he didn't have Pat White and Steve Slayton and Owen Schmidt and all those guys, he would have been ran out of town earlier than what he was. Little history lesson for all the college football fans that may be watching. After Rich Rodriguez leaves WVU, he goes to Michigan in an unceremonious fashion. By the way, he left us high and dry, left before the bowl game, this whole thing. Gets ran out of town, not very good at Michigan. Goes on to Arizona State, gets ran out of town there, not very good. He has success at Jackson State, sorry. He does well, but that is a group of 5 school. Okay, so then he finally comes home to West Virginia, and I'm pretty lenient. I feel for a lot of things. We could, if we're getting into an argument, we can motherfucker each other, and I can still come back down and work out something reasonable. So I was willing to forgive Rich Rodriguez for the way that he left. The way that the portal works now, you have to rebuild your team every single year. There were 53 recruits that came to WVU this year. 40 of them were 3-star talents. And again, respectfully as possible, because these kids are way better athletes than I ever was or ever will be. 3-star talent does not win you games in the Big 12. It just doesn't. So if we can't get a good roster to put out there, we need to be playing in the Sun Belt. We need to be playing in the MAC. We need to be playing in literally any other conference than the Big 12. And my last long-winded point on this before we find out who you're putting through a table. Everybody in my mentions for that video. It's the most viewed video on my channel because of all the hate watches that I got. Every single comment that I got was, "Oh yeah, you'll see, buddy. You'll see when Rich Rodriguez leads us to 10-3, and we're in a." Did I? What happened? Any update on that? I don't think so. We went 4-8 this year. I don't know if we're going to be bowl eligible. I can't imagine that we will be. If we are somehow, by the grace of God, bowl eligible, it'll be the Kraft Green Bean Bowl in fucking Tucson. Like, it's going to be a nothing bowl game just for capitalistic purposes, and we're probably going to lose that too. So we'll end this season either 4-8 or 4-9. And for all of Neil Brown's faults, the worst he ever did was 5-7.
Yeah.
He still had a better record than Rich Rodriguez, and Rich Rodriguez has a better roster than Neil Brown ever did. Like, get me the fuck out of the Big 12. I can't do this anymore. I want to be able to cheer something. Some people on this channel may not know me. That's fine. Get to know me. I would appreciate if you stop by and looked at my stuff. I would be hanging a Sun Belt Championship banner behind me for the rest of my life. I mean that. I need something to cheer for in this state so fucking bad. And the fact that I never will because somebody is chasing a dollar in our athletic department kills me. End scene. Take a bow.
Man, that was passionate, to say the least.
I love this school, man. I just want to be able to root for something.
Oh, I totally get it. Now, I feel for you, buddy. I really do. Because for me, it's like we don't know what's going to happen in Morgantown whenever we go out there. And that's always a scary place to play, period. And so like whenever we were going out there, I'm like, yeah, but like we should win. We should win pretty easily, but weird things happen in Morgantown. You know, we're talking about Rich Rodriguez. We're talking about just, college football in general. So I was a little concerned, and especially if like you have a team that has nothing to play for and you give them a chance to ruin someone's season, that's enough motivation to basically have superpowers. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Or unfortunately for you, great for me. It didn't happen. However, one thing that I will take away from that game is that you guys gave Jacob Rodriguez an interception on his stats sheet. And you know what?
I'm leaving this game with something.
You know what? Filling up those stats with that Heisman, buddy. That's the only thing I can say. I'm like, dude, he has 2 rushing touchdowns and an interception. So that was a good dunk. I'm dunking on all the campaigning for the college football playoff now. I absolutely, it drives me off the wall. I don't care if it's BYU, if it's UT, if it's Notre Dame, it's Miami. I do not care at this point because the committee put us in the situation where we have to be fighting all the time to basically figure out who's going to be in one of the last at-large bids or whatever. And the argument is always, well, if you win your conference championship, you should be in it, but you are 8-4 and a team that's in the SEC who is 9-3. And it's like, you know what? Honestly, we're talking about UT and OU right now. If you made your bed, now you got to sleep in it. I don't give a shit. Like, you left the Big 12 to go to the SEC. That is no one's fault but your own. And if you can't win in the SEC, all right, that's your fault. But you can't come back and say, well, that Florida team was actually pretty good. Like, no, they weren't. Just like A&M's a fraud. A&M's a fraud. And A&M's not going 11-1 in the Big 12 this year. No way. No way. So it just bothers me that we're sitting here and it's going to be a all-out war on the college football playoff committee because they can't really put parameters on what's a quality win and a quality loss and this, and that. I've seen arguments of people saying Tech shouldn't make the college playoff. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So, and I'm like, first of all, the SEC way overrated. Let's be real. Like Arkansas wouldn't cut it in the Big 12. Vandy would barely get by in the Big 12. So, like,
we give them a run for the money at the bottom of the conference.
What you said?
We give them a run for money at the bottom of the conference for sure.
You might. But I will say, if Texas Tech plays Georgia in the playoff at some point, I like Tech's chances a lot, by the way, a lot. If Tech plays Ohio State, I like Tech's chances a lot. And the reason why is because I've watched the other games. I saw Ohio State struggle against Michigan. You know, like, yes, they end up blowing out, but that first half was a little rocky. And Texas Tech is a much better team than Michigan is. So I don't think we do those things. I saw Georgia struggle at times against Georgia Tech. We're a better team than Georgia Tech. So, you know, I think we're going to see just a lot of fighting, a lot of nonsense. They're going to come up with a solution. I think Joey McGuire's solution is the best out of all of it. Move everything up. Your conference championships will be during Thanksgiving, and your playoff start right after that. And but championships on January 1st. Portal opens January 2nd. No harm, no foul. Also, it allows the coaches to coach in the conference championships or that bowl game or whatever. So great. I think that's the only way you can do it. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here getting mad at people for leaving their schools. Like, dude, also put Lane Kiffin through a table. Fuck that guy. So what a D-bag. So maybe he'll be next.
The thing that I didn't even bring up in my dunk / putting through a table, a lot of the college football playoff looks at the strength of schedule. And a baseline is a 0 if you're playing competition that sucks. It's a below a 0 if it's anything relatively decent. It's above a 0. Number 1 right now is Ohio State with a strength of schedule of 24.27. When WVU moved from the Big East to the Big 12, it was specifically for those purposes of, our strength of schedule is going to get better. So when we end up going 25-7 in basketball, when we go 10-3 in football, it's going to look a lot better, and we're going to get looks for, potential bowl games. You want to take a shot? You want to take a guess at what our strength of schedule is this year?
I would imagine it's. Did you have to play BYU too?
We did play BYU.
Oh, it's up there.
You would think it's up there.
Is it like
It's
15?
not. We are 77th in strength of schedule. We are at a negative 0.56. So let's pretend for a second. Let's pretend we win some of these games, right? We've had a couple close ones this year that could have gone our way if we wanted to. Let's pretend for a second that we are 8-4 instead of 4-8. The best we could have possibly been is 37th for strength of schedule. Nowhere close to sniffing the college football playoff. So this whole thing doesn't make any sense at all. West Virginia is a blue collar state. It is a pull yourself up by the bootstrap state.
Mm-hmm.
We have been in poverty for our entire lives. All of Appalachia is get us the fuck out of the Big 12. Get us out of the spotlight. We don't deserve to be there.
Oh, that's funny. But hey, you're in the right time zone for us to have a Big 12 early game. So sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're going to have to stay in the Big 12 specifically just for that.
Honestly, like you're Eastern time, so we got you called it. Now we can have Big 12 all day. I hate TV, man. I really do. That's why I love watching soccer, because it's like it's the game, no commercials. You get to halftime, throw a bunch of commercials, get back to the game, you're good to go. That's it. So
game start on time too.
Oh my
noon
God,
kickoff. Boom. Here we go.
No, we got it. No, we're done. We've been going an hour 16. Don't get me started on starting times. So Austin,
we thought this was going to go 40 minutes. Look at that.
Yeah, so thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you so much for all of this. Your insight on West Virginia football and sports is always very appetizing for me. Appreciate you having. Do you have anything to plug?
If you're interested in the wrestling content, like I'm assuming you would be if you clicked on this video, check me out on TikTok at East Coast Pop. And if you like basketball for all the other Baseline Bums content, check me out Roundball Renaissance everywhere you get your videos.
Dope. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you everyone for listening. You have yourself a great day. And we're going to end this as we always end every episode. And that is with a
go Spurs. Go.
Fun times. Thanks, buddy.